Thank you for having me here. I'm Rohan Nandy from the XIM MBA batch of 2023-25. I completed my summer internship with G Aerospace out of their Bangalore office. So I was a part of their digital supply chain team and I worked on a new tool which was being launched. So my role was first to understand how my team fit into the grand scheme of things, the entire equation, and then eventually develop strategies for the usage of the tool once it was launched. So, like I mentioned, since my role involved working with multiple teams, some out of Bangalore, some out of US, so I had to first understand what exactly my team did, what tech stack they were using, what role each individual was playing in my team, what projects they were currently working on, and all of that. So, considerable time in my initial month was devoted to this. And this was basically because there were multiple softwares, multiple analytics tools, multiple databases, data lakes, which were being actually used by the entire team. So being comfortable with their functionalities also, it was paramount. We had recently changed one of our databases also. So understanding why we had to make that shift and what benefits we were getting out of the new tool, why we actually ditched the older one. So we had to actually get an understanding of all of that. Once I could cover that part, the main functional aspect or the MBA part of my internship started. Since it was a new tool and it involved multiple teams and subsequent users, my job was basically to standardize the usage of this tool, document it, prepare a manual of sorts so that every user who's new to the tool could easily use it. In case of any queries or any doubts, they could just refer to that document, refer to that manual. And that would include a standard operating procedure, the teams which were involved, the respective operations teams, the guys who would be working there, a workflow of the entire process, how to deal with downtimes, be it scheduled or unexpected ones, what would be the contacts in case of emergencies or errors, then the data sources which we were using and how frequently they were being refreshed, step by step guide basically, so on and so forth. So that was basically my part in the internships to ensure that once the tool is launched, there's no hiccup in the usage and the implementation is as smooth as it gets. I'm a fresher. I'm a BTech ECE fresher, and for me, this was my first corporate stint. So without the help of my teammates, my seniors, my manager, I think it would have been impossible to navigate through the internship. So since my background is not entirely in computer science or IT, the initial part was a bit challenging. Even though as an engineer, you study a lot of core courses which actually today involve a lot of fundamentals of computer science and programming. So that part helped me a lot. However, I had a very supportive team where everyone was always ready to help me. So even if I had some doubts or let's say couldn't get a hang of things in the first go, they were always there to help me, and that made me really comfortable in the entire job setting. My manager, I think, went out of his way to help me, so that was like an added bonus for me, something I didn't expect in my first corporate stint. So there was a point initially where I felt like I probably wasn't able to understand every bit and wasn't really sure if I could live up to the team's expectations or my manager's expectations. That is when I went back to the drawing board, started from scratch again, and this time with much more clarity and a lot of enthusiasm, let's say, which might have been missing initially, or I don't know. But it worked wonders for me. So I sat on multiple Teams calls with our lead data architect, and that was the turning point for me, I feel, because even though he was out of US, I was out of my Bangalore office. So matching our schedules at times would be difficult. And also, he's the lead architect of our team, so he's always busy. But he was always available for me. He never really made me feel like I was an intern who was trying to make his way into this organization, trying to understand what was happening. it always felt like I was an old member of this team. That's how my team made me feel. I couldn't have asked for a better 2 month period of learning because, of course, MBA is full of learning throughout, your 2 years. But I think those 2 months were kind of an eye opener for me, like as to how much there's still to learn, how much there's still to grasp, and what all progress, I mean, today's world is making in terms of technology, especially. So technical learnings were definitely immense, and for the first time, I actually saw theoretical concepts being applied in the real world. So a lot of new learnings there. However, I feel the most important learning, I'd say, would be in terms of how to be a professional in the corporate world. Because as an MBA graduate, you're also expected to be better than just another, fresher or just another joinee. Uh, Better in terms of your work delivery, the way you conduct yourself, and everything. And that was very new for me because I hadn't worked anywhere before. So I was an intern for 2 months, which meant that I had very little time to interact with all the people in an organization as large as GE Aerospace. But it was also my only chance to understand like how an industry leading company like GE functions. So my manager and I'd say everyone in GE who I met, they've always encouraged me a lot to network with as many people as possible and to stay curious about the functioning of the organization and to always basically strive for things beyond your assigned tasks. So, be it G or be it any other organization, you'll actually make the most out of your time there if you get to understand how that organization functions, how the different teams in it act in synergy to cater to their end customers. And that can only happen when you're really curious and you have a hunger for, going that extra mile. Another important aspect which I learned, and maybe not a lot of people talk about it, is to fail fast. Now, we don't really like to talk about failing or vulnerabilities and anything which can slightly be on the negative terms. But I think it's really crucial to know where you stand, what all shortcomings you have to work on those, and it is absolutely normal to face obstacles or fail momentarily. But to do that fast and get going again is extremely important. I think that's what differentiates a successful employee from a not so successful one, or a person in general. It doesn't really have to be an employee, it can be your boss or anyone. So when the technicalities kind of overwhelmed me in the initial 1 or 2 weeks, I knew that I needed to start again from a clean slate. And having that realization very early helped me actually have a very fruitful and memorable internship. So I think the soft skills, the learnings, and the mindset which G gave me, I think I'll carry that with me for the rest of my corporate career. And I think that's something I'm eternally grateful for.
Hey everyone, I am Devesh Baranwal of XIM BBM batch 23-25. So I had the opportunity to intern with IBM India Private Limited, and my role was as an intern as a product manager. I had to review the contents that were related to the software training materials. Secondly, I had to go through three different regulations which are being passed in the European Union. Three major regulations. They were EU DPP, Digital Product Passport, CSRD, and AGEC Article 13. So these were specifically related to my product, that was CIS, Supply Chain Intelligence Suite of 5M. So I had to review these three document regulations which are being passed in European Union, and I had to recommend the prioritization, like in which regulation should IBM invest in. My key responsibility included was I had to recommend and the changes which were needed and the fill the missing gaps in the training materials. Like being a fresher, I had to learn all the things that were required to operate the software. So I was the, I think, I completed the gap between like what were the missing pieces in the training materials. So I developed a roadmap, the plan, the missing gaps, which would be crucial, like the product strategy map, the product lifecycle map. All those things were missing, and I suggested those to be implemented. And apart from that, so the key responsibility of the product managers is to collaborate with the technical teams, the UI UX teams. Unfortunately, me being an intern, I did not have the opportunity to interact with the business verticals, the clients. But surely on the back end of the meetings, I was surely present. I was clearly attending the meetings, and I for sure gained a lot of insights from the meetings. Yeah. So my internship was divided into three parts. The first was reviewing the contents for the training materials. The second part was reviewing, going through the three documentation stages, and the third was actually building a demo on the software SCIS, uh, to showcase that the SCIS software is actually compatible to the regulations that are being passed on. Like it can be developed into the required things that the regulations require. So I had to build a dashboard. So during the build, I would say the middle stage, I faced some issue, and I contacted my people manager. So in IBM, you have two managers. One is your people manager, one is your product manager. So I contacted a people manager, and I explained to her that I'm facing problem, and she connected me to a developer, and the developer wasn't able to resolve my issue. Then I contacted her senior. Then her senior contacted another senior architect. So senior architects are pretty big level position people. And that day I realized one thing: your time may be, it may happen that you give a lot of time, a lot of effort in explaining things to people, and still it might not work out. So it's totally fine to give a try to things, and it's totally fine to fail at them, and it's totally fine if things do not work out. Okay, so obviously I would say it's just not limited to the marketing domain, but yes, the marketing courses helped a lot, and the strategy courses, because ultimately I would suggest that the even the software products do have a, like, do need to have a plan, a strategy, like how they need to be implemented, how they need to be launched in a specific market, and how they need to be pitched to a particular clients. Different companies have different requirements and have different expectations as well. So you need to have a prior experience, prior knowledge to how, what company needs from you. So I think that in that sense, I would say surely strategy courses and marketing courses helped a lot. Like I knew what frameworks I had to implement to explain the future roadmap of the product, and the like different the strengths and weaknesses of the product, the future scope of the product. And similarly, the, I would say, second year product management courses helped a lot. I did not have that courses during my internship, but yeah, for my internship I did a course related to product management. It helped a lot. So it was pretty simple. You need to you need to do little by little each and every day. It cannot happen like in 2 months of internship you chill for 40 days, and in last 20 days you think of doing each and everything. So from day one you need to have the consistency, right? So each and every day I would suggest at least spend little time, and yeah, it will be fantastic. So have a grasp on the current trends going on in the technology space, firstly. Secondly, whatever the role is, have a grasp on it. Like if it's product management, have the product management basics ready. If you have prior work in technical space, do remember that your questions would be based on that. If you are a fresher, at least what is your on your CV, have a proper grasp on it, whether it's certification courses or the courses you have mentioned. Uh, yeah, that would be all. And yeah, last but not least, go through the company profile, the products and the offering spaces the company has, the regions in which they are offering, the competitors of the company. Yeah,